wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair. Uh, Thank you, Salim sir, and thank you, Omiyak, for giving me this opportunity. Alhamdulillah, we in this series we have completed 3 sessions related to execution and running of classes in terms of pre-primary, primary section, and the higher grades. Now we will look into the other aspects of the school, like the retention of the students, of the staff, and how to manage that one. Now, basically, we have in the school three stakeholders: the parents, the staff, and the management or the administrative staff, as well as non teaching staff, you can say. Now, retention means what? Retention means the people who were there last year with you will be there this year also. This might be the working members or the students via which the parents. We will not say students, we will say the parents because they are the one who are going to choose whether want to continue or want to exit. So today we'll discuss about how to maintain the status quo, at least if not improving on last year's behavior, at least how to maintain the same. And in fact, if you try to maintain, you might improve also. So basically, retention means having at least the same members as we had last year, having the same staff as we had last year. Why we want to retain them? This is also a good question wherein to start the program. We want to retain because we had good staff members. Some of them were okay, but we trained them to be better. And overall, we have made them understand the procedures and the purpose of our school last year, because of which we could perform in a better way. Now, these staff members have an idea about your school, about how to go by and how to work and what is the requirement of the school. Now, if you lose these members, the members who will come new, again, you will have to redo the same thing. It is not that you might not find a better than this teacher, or it is not that the school will stop if these staff members exit. No, that is not the point. The point is that we have worked hard all the year in terms of training them, in terms of making them understand what the school is and what are the ethics, working ethics here, and many more things along the year. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. That is why we want to retain. Also, it will be a benchmark for that school's stability and the ability that they are doing well or not. Let me start with the staff. What the staff requires and what they think about the school. Yes, any working member or in any of the institution, we can generalize what the staff requires: a good working environment. This is the first thing. No one will stand there in a particular institution wherein lot of stress is there and extra workloads are there and the working procedures are not friendly. This is a generalized thing and it is valid to educational institutions also. This is the first thing, that the working environment must be suitable, happy to that working staff. This doesn't mean that we'll not give the responsibility or they will not complete their responsibility. Of course, they will complete the responsibility, but in a happier manner, not in a stressful manner. See, why I am telling this way, that is because a happier person will give a higher productivity, and even it will reach the best way the responsibility given to them. So, first thing is you'll have to give a happier environment. Now, this happier environment contains many things, like what the staff sees. If I join this particular school, is there is a growth, or this school's name to my CV will add up to its value or no. This is a very important thing. That means you'll have to create value to your school, and you'll have to make them understand that by staying in your school, they have ample scope to grow. Like I'll tell about the corporate schools, how it will be like. Corporate schools, they already have systems defined, everything is set, what the morning first hour needs to. Of course, every school is having set, but the thing is, this is being replicated year by year, month by month, whatever the staff is, whatever the school branch is, whether it is in Hyderabad, whether it is in Bangalore, Chennai, anywhere it is, it will remain the same. That means the teacher has very little scope to deviate from the things which are defined. So this is one disadvantage of the corporate school. But whereas a non-corporate school gives ample scope to grow, and any teacher who want to grow, who want to perform, who want to show off, has lot of scope, and there is a chance to show themselves in a speedy way also. It is not that they need not wait for 3 years, 4 years to show their full potential. They can show it in the first year itself, and that will be valued and encouraged in a non corporate school. But maybe in corporate school also there might be, but that will have a lot of hierarchical hurdles wherein you might drop after reaching a one or two levels or whatever it is. But in a non-corporate school, this is not there. Whatever you perform, whatever you do, that is being displayed and reached directly to the highest because they are in contact with you immediately. Apart from scope of growth, what the staff will say is, okay, my performance with my abilities and potentials I will do. Will there be a facility of training for me, of getting more and more knowledge and the latest happenings in the educational field, or no? So this is also a factor wherein the staff look into and continue in your school. So if you are having an in-house as well as outside trainings for your staff, that will be a happier part for them. Like you can hire some professionals, or you can allow them to attend the trainings and perform there, as well as you'll have a regular training setups scheduled year long in your school. This will help them to be with the latest technologies, for it be like suddenly introduction of NEP 2020 or any other latest things happening in the school. Like before it was teacher centric, now it is student centric. And what is the understanding of that one? There are new methods of called flip class and many more things which people now have termed these things of performing. Before also teacher used to perform, but they did not have any particular terms. So this kind of training and improvement and facility is there or no? That's also important for a staff to remain in that school. Apart from that, like we listen to the parents, we listen to the parents problems, we need to also listen to the staff problems and their requirement. Sometimes might be related to the educational institute, and sometimes it might be personal things also. Of course, it's your responsibility to take care of your staff by all means. Maybe in the educational institution, uh, you can give them responsibility and take care in that way, but in a personal, you can be not very deep, maybe to some extent, particularly sometimes when emergency of financial issues arises. These are also things which will help them to remain in that same school. Apart from that, many schools, what they do, a big mistake is they will, if any problem arises, they will bring directly the staff member and put right in front of the parent and allow them to behave as they wish, which is a very, very wrong procedure. My staff people, when I asked them what is best in our school, the first thing they said that we are being filtered from the parent. Of course, I don't say that your staff is very perfect. They don't do mistakes, sometimes knowingly or unknowingly, but that doesn't mean that you will put them in front of parents and to speak to them as they wish and you will be a mute spectator. That's very wrong. And it is against the ethics of any principle of any institution. See, you have had the staff with what kind of responsibility you know very well. But the parent who comes, maybe he has any knowledge or he might not have any knowledge. He might be uneducated from the street or might be educated but some very rough and tough, angry person who is only concerned about himself and who only talks about himself. In that he might sacrifice or he might scold your staff in a wrong way. See, I'll tell you something. These staff members, they do incredible work, wonderful work. It is not like that other institutions wherein, for example, if a furniture institution is there, where you'll make some chair and you'll get that compensation and the matter is closed. No. In our institution, these staff members, they built a child's character apart from their academics in every aspect. For this, it is not an easy job. Just a parent or a mother of 3, 4 children will feel headache. अरे ये बच्चों से तो मैं परेशान हो गई. We imagine the status of your staff, which is having a 30 to 40 members in the class. And apart from this, you'll have a n number of type of children in the class. Some might be stubborn, some might have the potential, but they are arrogant. Some might not listen to the teacher. Every kind of child will be there in the class. But these teachers, they give a motherly treatment to these children, making them feel that yes, this is for me and I will have to perform to make my teacher happy. And it is not a easy job. So that is why many times I say to my staff, what you are doing is you are building a person's personality which will help him for the lifetime. That is one of the reasons that many of our grown ups, or I can say 100%, even me and you, everybody, remember your teachers more than anyone else in your life. Maybe you have gone to college, you have gone to PhD and everywhere, but you will never forget your teachers. That is because they have treated you with love and affection and they have helped you to build your character, and sometimes that it has become a turning point in your life. So you will never forget that. Like once we have seen our own president when he went to Oman, I think Shankar Dayal Sharma, when he went to Oman, the king of Oman, he became the driver for his car. and he has driven him to his palace. That is the respect the teacher owns. That is why I say, whatever we make the payment, it is nothing. It is just a nominal one. The real payment comes from the child's own life history. Whenever he remembers, whenever he feels good for the teacher, whenever he makes dua for that, that never can be compensated. If building a child's character, you can never compensate for that. So we'll have to respect the teachers in the same way. But many parents don't feel that. Of course, I don't say that parents might have a wrong question or they might have come with a wrong issue. No problem. If they came for that, you just handle them, speak to them, you acknowledge them, and many times, instead of orally, you just take a paper, pen, or a book and note down that one. Tell them that, yes, this issue, I'll see to that it will be resolved or it will not happen again. So that will make a satisfied for this parent to a greater extent. Then you speak to the teacher, what is the situation, why it has happened, and you make sure that the teacher will not repeat such kind of mistake wherein that parent comes to the school. I'll tell you one more thing what we does in our school. I don't say that you don't beat children, because in one of the management classes, a very popular person, I don't remember his name, all over India they make the classes. His first thing what he said that if you don't beat the child, then we'll have to close the school. That doesn't mean that we will beat like an enemy. That is what I tell the teachers. If sometimes may, because the problem is you cannot gauge every student by the same yardstick. Some children, if you shout at them, they will listen. Some children, if you look at them seriously, that is enough. And other child requires one small beating or tap at his back or the side to make him understand that you have crossed the level. So I tell my staff that if any time such things is required, you beat in such a way that it must make the child realize that I have crossed the limit. That's all. Not that he will get physically abused or physically some scars are coming and whatever it is. That is not the purpose of the teacher, or that is not the reason why parents are sending the children to school. So teachers also must understand this. So if any situation such arises by any mistake, some mistake happens, you'll have to acknowledge the parent and not bring the staff right in front of them. You'll have to note them and later on resolve it in an amicable way. See, all this happens in a good way in your institution when you have the clarity of your purpose, of your requirement by hiring that staff. You will have to be clear. For example, if you are hiring a computer teacher, you don't expect them to be a PT teacher in the same way. So you'll have to be clear with them what is expected from them. If sometimes you want to have a teacher wherein she knows a local language as well as an Hindi language, you are expecting her to perform with dual language, then you be clear with them. Apart from that, you also be clear with the purpose and the vision mission your school is has started. So this will help the teacher to perform according to the expectation. If you are not clear with them and later on you start blaming them, you did not do that, you did not do this, that is wrong, because first of all you did not make clear that I am expecting you to do this. You have to be clear with them. This will help them to perform the way we wanted. Otherwise, there will be differences and issues. In that way, you may lose a good performing teacher also. So, this is a very important thing that you'll have to be clear with why you are hiring and what responsibility you are giving to that particular staff member. Like you might have your school's a longer vision and the mission, several missions to complete that vision. So you'll have to be clear with all the things. For example, in our school, we have academics as well as Islamic studies. But in academics, we try to introduce in a Islamic way. For example, there is some non-Islamic thing coming in the lesson, then we'll skip it. So you'll have to be clear. If you are not clear, the teacher might teach that birthdays or whatever it is, or even she might enjoy the birthday in the class and the rest of the class. Then the parents coming up telling that, "Arey, ye to Islamic school tha. Why then birthdays are being celebrated in the school?" So if you're not clear with her, then unknowingly such mistakes will happen. Later on, you cannot blame such stuff. So these are the things wherein you give the teacher with lot of support, like we can say feel at home. That doesn't mean teacher will be careless on the responsibility and have the liberty in a wrong way. So that part also you must be clear. See, these are the responsibilities given to you, and if until you are performing on all these responsibilities, you will not be questioned. So this part has to be very clear. Now, for the teacher, how they can perform, I just want to say one thing, that is the every staff member, not only teachers, every staff members, whether it is administrative, non-administrative, even the principal, owner, everybody must be aware of their strengths and weaknesses. Like, for example, some person is good in communication and argument, then he knows that his strength is good in communication and argument. And contrary, some teachers or staff members or even the owners might be a silent type of a person. So such persons must not get into arguments because they know that they are a silent type of person and they can never win the argument. So the teachers, when they are dealing with the parents particularly, they must never do these things. If they are aware of their own strengths and weaknesses, then they can have an happy life. Another very important thing is how to deal with the staff members. Many teachers, they come across with some pity issues or maybe some ego issues or serious issues. It's the management's responsibility to resolve it and filter them, keep them apart in that particular issue, not on the working as a whole. Working as a whole, you have to make them understand that you have to work together. There is no other choice. Also, a good performing teacher, because she did not like the in charge for some odd reason, must not quit immediately. Many times, what happens is when the teacher joins newly to any particular institution, there will be some opposition from other senior members because they feel that this fast growing lady, she might take up my position. No problem. I'll tell you something. For these in charges, principals, and others, like what Jack Ma had said. You know, Jack Ma is the one owner of the Alibaba online selling store from China, which is far, far bigger than Amazon, and he started very long before. He said that if I feel this staff member has a potential and can work in a way that he will take my position, then I will hire them surely. Because that potential and growth will replicate in your school. So you must not, yani, force such good people to quit or give them tension or make them uh, feel that you are the boss. No, nobody must try to suppress the other person in any institution, because everyone has their responsibility and they will only work within their responsibilities. You are not here to stress them or to put down anyone in any institution. This is a general thing which is valid for the educational institutions also. See, since we had taken up this topic of stability, it is a very serious issue and it will benefit in 100 ways to an institution as well as to the staff who is there with you. Today we have spoken only about this. In our next issue, we'll talk about the administrative persons and the parents. I think we are already closing the time now. So, if anybody is having any questions, you can ask in this. You can raise your hand and ask the questions or type it. I really don't know. This is my fourth talk. I hardly got any questions. Uh, See, basically, I'm an interactive type of speaker, but here this is online. It doesn't have much scope of interaction. Uh,
No, sir. No, sir. The reason is actually your information has been very lucid. Actually, it's very clear. So
that
what all the actually the stability of a school today, I really felt this is the most essential thing which I should discuss with everyone, because the growth of a teacher and everything. Since it was very lucid, probably as an individual, like on my own, I don't have much doubts to be clarified. It was very clear.
Thank you, madam. That's very nice to know.
Madam is the principal of a Safa Matriculation School, and many principals are here, sir. They are benefited by your talk. They will be very happy to note down your important points. You told a happier person gives more productivity. So we have
Yes.
to make the teachers happier. Then more productivity will come. More strain, more stress, more worries. Then the productivity will be less. Very important point you have shared. And also, you told that ensure ample scope to teachers to grow. So madam also has picked up that point. We must tell them that you have the scope to grow, not remaining same class teacher for third standard for 5 years, 6 years. So they have the scope to grow and move to next positions. So very important points you have shared, sir. And you also told that no schools have become student centric. Previously, it were teacher centric. If a conflict is there between a teacher and a student, nowadays the teacher will be removed and the student will be retained. Previously, it was not there the case. So they will come in support of the teachers. So it has now become student centric. So we must see to it that we are behaved properly. So many important points you have shared. We are also having Arshad Madani Saab waiting for us.